Well,
Move on. Okay.
okay, great. Okay, everybody. Welcome. I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Commissioners for the New Bern Housing Authority to order. And ask that we have roll call, please.
Commissioner Bingle,
Here?
Commissioner Blackman,
Here.
Commissioner Copeland,
Here.
Commissioner Outlaw, Commissioner Powell,
Present.
Commissioner Reddick,
Here.
Commissioner Scott.
All righty. Thank you so much. Okay. Mr. Warner, do we have any public comment today?
No public.
Okay. All righty. Thank you. Any staff comments? Okay. All righty. In your packet were the minutes from our November 18th meeting. I know that everybody has read them and is ready to make a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Okay. And a second, did you get that? All those in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, passes. Okay, finance report. Back to where we started.
Or, since, well, Celine was the only one, so I guess we do need to start back in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ms. Shea, if you could go ahead and start with our finance report again, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
Okay.
First on the packet is the balance sheet. Not too much changes this month. Does anybody have any questions on the balance sheet? Okay, next page. Next up is the Ross grant. This is the budget comparison for the Ross grant. As you can see, still in line with the new updated budget. Does anyone have any questions? Next page. Next, we have the Trent Court Public Housing. A few changes here due to having new access to the HUD ELOCs report. So we had to change a few items, but still in line with the updated budget and still at the bottom line showing revenue. Does anyone have any questions on the public housing report? Next report. One more page. And then we have the New Bern Towers report. This one also is in line with the new budget. Is there any questions on the New Bern Towers report? Okay. Next page. Here's the cash lead showing the changes in the cash accounts. Does anyone have any questions on the cash lead? Next page.
and hey, hold on one sec.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask Jeff to give us an update next month
Okay.
on the investment that we did, Jim, last year. That should, when did we do that? In February?
Mhm.
This year.
Mhm.
Yep. So 12 months it's gone fast.
Yes.
12 months is coming up, so I'm gonna ask Jeff to kind of give us a precursor at our January board meeting leading up to the February renewal based on expectations that it's going as well as we projected. I'm sorry, Shay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll also be needing that information at the end of December for the year end, which we in January. We'll start. Next page. So we have the grant summary here, and I don't know if you remember from last month, there were some grants that were overspent, but now that we have access to that HUD ELOCs report, we were able to go through that and clear out some of the misconception, and now there are no overspent grants. And these are the available balances. Go ahead.
And we have 24 available, but as we complete and reconcile and finish up our planning for the 5-year plan, then we'll be able to access to 24. So you don't show a number in 24, but that's about 600 and some $1,000. But we'll be able to show that after our next month's approval of the 5-year plan.
Okay, next page. So that was all for the finance packet. What we have here is the 2025 budget that we wanted to go over with you all. So the first on the list is the Ross grant, which ends May 2025. And so here we have the estimation of us spending the remaining balance and then splitting that up with salary and other expenses. Does anyone have any questions about the Ross grant? And Mr. Barn, did you have any additional comments?
No, as I explained to the finance committee, for the board members that were not there, the budget that we have in front of you is showing ending May of 25 only because those are the only funds we have allocated right now based on the grant. We've submitted a renewal of the grant. We have all indications and expectation to receive that. And then as we get notification, we'll come back to you all for a budget revision to carry that budget to the end of December.
Next, okay. So next we have the Public Housing Trent Court. And so most of the, oh, Daphne, did you want to speak this time or you want me to just keep going through it? You can keep going through it. Okay. And so most of these numbers are based on the 2024 actuals that were analyzed for 12 months and a 3% increase for some. As far as the HUD-PHA grant, that is based on the eligibility that we are expecting to receive based on the calculations that we did for the operating subsidy calculations earlier. I believe that was in October. As far as the CFP, we are estimated to fully spend those grants, so those are those amounts. Does anyone have any questions on the budget for public housing? Okay. And one more page.
I'm trying to just back into the numbers. I know that the city of New Bern has increased their rate 6% and you added for 3%. Is that going to be enough to cover the electric?
Yeah, so we kind of went back and forth on that based on that number. And we probably, as we go through the different seasons, we'll come back and make that budget adjustment as we need, but we just,
You put a 3%.
yeah, we just put it for right, and then again, that kind of fluctuates sometimes, but we'll do a budget revision. Pam, are you seeing huge spikes from what we've had before in utilities?
Yes, because it's getting cold.
Okay.
And then, so now the gas fuels, they started to get gas and utility, and electric.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll get with the ladies and kind of track a kind of comparison of utilities for year to date and kind of track that to see if it's trending in the way that
You can always reach out to Charlie Bouchard and to the electric department, and they'll be happy to give you a report and they can give you an idea of what your usage was and maybe annualize it for you and give you some more information. I'm sure they'd be happy to help you.
Charlie's been great to work with.
He really has. He's a great guy.
And so similar for New Bern Towers, we took the actuals and annualized them with the 3% increase. Was there any questions for the New Bern Towers budget? And that concludes my portion of the finance.
Thank you, Shay.
You're welcome.
Just approve an increase in
Insurance for
I just,
our property insurance here.
no, not this, I'm talking about the state level.
Oh. I know what you're talking about. And Some areas, yeah. May have.
Some areas, I
Yeah.
didn't hear it was some areas. Yeah, I heard it was 40%.
Maybe on the beach. Places like that. But then again, we were just talking about the increase in property insurance. I know we have heard of 40% increases like at the beach and areas like that with us being flooded. I didn't know if Martha had seen a drastic.
We've had an increase, but not to that extent right now.
Not yet.
And that's part of what I'm going through with Wade and Associates, as well as HAI, which has our property and casualty as well, and then our other insurances with Wade and Associates. So what I've been doing is inviting them to come in. Spent all last week with HAI, and then I spent last month with Reed. And so I'm going through all our insurances, where I can bring myself up to speed, but also talking to them about our policies and what we have and what exposure we have in each of those categories, and kind of going back doing an analysis. And so they're working with, I'm also doing that with our medical, dental, all of that. So that way our insurances are kind of all over the place. So we laughed last week, like a supplemental policy. I know we're talking, but just to kind of give an example, we were laughing because Tasha says she buys everything that everybody sells to us. So I mean, honestly, we found that staff have duplicate supplemental policies. And so we're going through and making sure that, just tighten all those kinds of things up. So that's where we spend a lot of time.
Have we been able to reduce our insurance exposure on the damaged buildings that are unoccupied?
We
Okay,
have.
we have, okay.
Yeah, we've addressed that. Well, if we could, and if from a protocol standpoint, based on resolutions, and that way Shay and the latest can drop off.
Okay.
We have a resolution for you all to approve the 2025 budgets. And so since we just finished the financial report, if we could.
That would be in order. So if everybody wants to look at the resolution that is in your packet towards the end, it is very last page. Okay. And it would be resolution 12.24.002. If anybody doesn't have any questions or you feel comfortable to make the motion to adopt this 2025 budget, that's what it would be. Hey, Jim, do I have a second? Second. Okay. Denise, a second. Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, Mr. Barner, got your work laid out for you now.
So I mean,
Yes, thank you, Shay. We appreciate all your work, Daphne.
Thank you. You all have a good one. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
Thank you.
So, kind of give you an update. Last Tuesday night, I did an update to the alderman with a request to kind of hold back the days in property for the CNI process. And so I think the conversation went well with the alderman from that standpoint, and I think there's a lot of support within the city and the alderman for the process that we're going through with the CNI process, and we really appreciate that. And Alderman Creel, I know you're here. Anything you want to add to my comments based on that? No. Okay, and we appreciate your support. Tomorrow, I am putting on the street the RFQ, the updated RFQ for the co-developer. We did that before, but you all remember Laurel Street backed out. And so we wanted to get the CNI consultants on board before we put the RFQ for the co-developer back on the street. So not from a board approval, it's just because y'all already had approved it before. I'm just I got to update it, working with CVR. I have an updated procurement process that we're going to put on the street for the co-developer. We want to move that process along because we're going to have another on-site meeting, community focus group meetings on March 17th. You can go ahead and plug that date in. And so what we want to be able to do is get the RFQ on the street for the co-developer, and hopefully we can have selected co-developer before we have that next March 17th meeting for CVR and the CNI process. So that way the new co-developer can be a part of our discussions with the community and city leadership if we put it on the street.
Is there a 30-day time frame?
It's a 30-day bid process. And then right after the conference on the 14th of January, we're going to have a pre-bid. So some may come in person, but I'm also going to do it virtually as well. So we plan to do that pre-bid on the 14th and then shortly a couple of weeks after that. So it'll be a 30-day process to put the put that on the street. Charles Taylor. Phase 1, the demolition of the building. And when I say demolition, the interior and all of that work, that contract has been let. The work has begun. They started actually on yesterday. So they are on site. So part of the last thing that we can talk about is there's an old tractor. And so in the write-offs that we did the previous month, there's a very, very old tractor that's over there. And we need to do something with it. Now, I will say to you, my request to the board would be that I put a proposal out, because believe it or not, we get a lot of calls from, I don't know how people drive there to see it, but they're farmers, they're people that like tractors or whatever the case may be, but this tractor seems to be a relic that people tend to like. So I like to get the board's approval tonight to write off the tractor, and I put it out for a bid, and whoever the highest bidder is would get the tractor, but opposed to just throwing the tractor away and using it, for metal.
Somebody that could praise it or would know what it's worth. Just looking at.
I know municipal bid
Yeah.
and municipal bids.
Okay.
Where to go. I mean, the city never does it.
Yeah. So we'll do that, and I'll get
Yeah.
with them. But yeah, we get calls all the time of people wanting that old tractor, believe it or not. So I do need a board approval
If you do it on municipal bid, or however you do it, if you could get a local mechanic or somebody to, first thing on municipal bid, you can read the comments. They
Yeah.
want to know, does it crank?
right.
What's wrong with it? So if you get somebody to look at that and write it up a little bit,
Okay.
I know that tractor, and
Yeah.
I don't remember if it's a 135 or what, but you need some help on
Okay.
connecting dots.
So can I get a motion?
Has done it, through there. So somebody at Public Works could probably help you out.
Is that a motion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the exact motion?
So the motion is to, I'm putting words in your mouth, Mr. Outlaw, but
Yeah.
the motion would be to give direction to the executive director to take the tractor out of our inventory and then put it up for auction.
So moved.
Okay, anybody with a second? Okay, Denise second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Did you get that motion?
I did. Oh, thank you.
All right. And lastly, but not least, is exciting is we closed on the 3 houses.
Right?
So the Walt Bellamy houses are now owned by us. We closed last Thursday. Cliff, thank you so much for your work on that, and Stephanie. And it's in our possession. We have insurance on it, and we are scheduled the first part of January to meet with Twin Rivers as we can continue the discussion on putting project-based vouchers on those units where we can provide assistance to families that have rental assistance to live in those units.
Please make sure you cut the grass though.
We
Put it on a schedule.
no, ma'am, we Mr. C on those grass.
Thank you.
We're gonna make sure the grass is well maintained, so.
Voucher.
That is all I have.
Just a comment for you. I thought that CVAR did an excellent job when they were here, with their community meetings and everything, that the little group sessions that they had. I've never seen a group more engaged and really listening. And I feel that the community felt that and just got a lot out of it. And it was great participation. So again, I know it cost us a lot of money to bring in CVR, but it's obvious that they know what they're doing and they know how to do it. And I'm excited about this process, and hopefully the end result is going to be the awarding of that CNI grant.
They were excited about the participation as well, and they have continued to talk about the fact of a community the size of New Bern, and the participation and the coordination of everybody is as top notch as they've seen in larger communities that they've helped get the award. So they're excited about working with New Bern. So that's it.
Thanks for everyone for making that happen. I mean, this is it's a big deal. And it's very important for everybody to feel ownership and to come along and come together on this so that, I think it could be really, really good, but we need transparency and openness in the right process. And it looks like we're doing that.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, in all of the meetings, Janelle sat in several of the other ones, and I know Sabrina did as well, but we had great participation across the board in this community from businesses to nonprofit to community to the community. Good or bad. You got to recognize sometimes you're not going to hear what you want to hear, but that's what the community engagement piece is all about. Is us sitting down at the table and talking about what we're trying to do and why we're trying to do it. But it was I felt very encouraged by the participation that we had.
And I think because of that, we're going to see much better partnerships this time. And that's what it's going to take to win the award, and to not only win it, but implement it and make it happen, because that's the key. We've had many grants, we've had many studies, but making it happen has been the hard part.
That's right. Thank you all.
Oh, you did a great job with it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anything else for our executive director? Any other questions? Hey, New Bern Towers report.
So Tasha's not here.
Okay.
I gave her permission. She is at the towers. The elevators are down. One elevator got fixed. As soon as they left, within 45 minutes, the elevator went back down. So they were in Pimlico, and the elevator people were working on another job. But as soon as they finished that, they were coming back. So I told her, just stay back and make sure everybody was okay. And I got a couple of phone calls from concerned family members of residents that live there, but I assured them we're on top of it, and it was fixed. They left, and then it went out. So they are on their way back. And so she's there to take care of that. She did want me to know that she was a little dyslexic in her report, that the 1 bedroom was supposed to be 5 and the 2 bedroom was supposed to be 3. So, but otherwise, everything else is good.
Yeah, I had a great, I really got it.
Okay, any other questions on human capital? Okay, Ms. Pam, can you do the current court report, please?
Right now, we have 91 vacancy rates. We have 10 vacancies, which is 2 bedrooms, we have 5, 3 bedrooms, we have 5. We had 3 move-ins, 2 move-outs, and we had 2 to transfer. We have 11 approved applications and 18 in process. Right now, we have a tar rate of 85. We have 13 pending terminations for non-payment. We have just one outstanding work order this quarter. We have 61 received, 60 complete, and a pending repair, which is I think it's a lot. In fact, it's a lot that has to be given to firms to change the cylinder. Cylinder. 22 police reports, which is 8 of those is assisted by other agencies, and 1 fire report. In the fire report, it was smoke. I called to the fire department, it was just, they turned on the heat and they smelled this smoke, so. These fire department came.
The 13 non-payment pending terminations, just give us a little more detail on that.
Okay, so, by now, being that we are into another month, which is December, we probably I have 6 that is going to court. So
6.
6, yeah.
My question for you, Pam, is on the 11 that are approved. And we've got 10 vacant units. Will these all be able to move in, or are they 11 that are approved? Maybe some need a 1-bedroom or something like that. Is that how that will?
Yes, ma'am. So right now on the board, we do have, we have a couple of referred from CWS, Divine Destinations. We have referred from Life 3 for homelessness. So right now our board we have like 5 people up there. So we are lacking, we're lacking like 2 bedrooms, but we are in the process of turning the units. So by the time the units get turned, we'll probably be real good next month. It'll be
Occupied. Mhm.
Right, it'll be occupied.
Okay.
So you won't see the numbers until February.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions on that report? All righty. Thank you, ladies, so much. We appreciate it. And Ms. Huggins, you want to go ahead and give us the Ross report?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Currently, I am updating all the residents' information. I'm assisting with the CNI surveys. We're at 58% right now. There's 1 resident in GED class at Cleveland CC. I have 1 resident taking online classes for business, 2 residents enrolled in correctional officer training, and 3 residents have new jobs.
Nice. Good. Awesome.
Still at 82% as far as participants. And for New Bern, that's for Trent Ford and New Bern houses, 20. That's 18.87% for New Towers.
You've been doing a wonderful job in the weather, sitting out there under a tent at Trent Court, getting those surveys done. And
Important.
it's important. I've shared that with her, and she stepped up to the plate and done a great job of getting those surveys done. And we're still at it. And so we appreciate that effort, because it is important to get those surveys completed.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so then the next item we've got is the board approval of the updated procurement policy. So at the last meeting, we received the procurement policy. In the meantime, Randy Norman went through it. He sent his comments, which this was really helpful, the way he broke it down, and I could go page by page. It really was very helpful and answered all of my questions. That's why I didn't bug you. So does anybody have any questions? I know Cliff is here, so he can answer them, but I think it's pretty straightforward now with these few changes and clarifications.
Great.
Does anybody have any other questions? Okay, if that's the case, then I need for somebody to make a motion to adopt this resolution that would put this new procurement policy into place.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
all right, Jim and Denise, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? Okay, we now have a procurement policy, yay. Yeah. Good. Okay, so do we need a closed session?
Just real quick. It's not gonna take long.
Okay, so we need to make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to, go ahead, are you gonna state the statute? Would you like to-
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sue Lynn, is that you?
Yeah, I was saying aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thanks for coming over.
thank you. Okay, we are now back in open session and no business was done under, we don't have anything to bring forward into into open session for a vote. So with that, is there anything else to bring before the board other than to say Merry Christmas to everybody? Happy New Year. I wish everybody a very blessed holiday and the joy of the spirit. Remember the reason for the season. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn if everybody's ready.
Motion.
And Denise.
Sue made the motion.
Okay, thank you, Sue Lynn. Merry Christmas, dear.
Merry Christmas. Second.
Very good. All those in favor, say aye.
Oh, aye.
Opposed? My dear.
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was easy.